off. I have the right to charge what I wish.
You profit from their misfortune. I should have the Templars give away everything in your carts.
You wouldn't dare. Any of you step too close to my goods and I'll...
It's so nice to see everyone working together in a crisis. Warms the heart.
Oh, you there. You look able. Would you care to make a tiny profit helping a beleaguered businessman?
Why would I want to help you?
Didn't I mention profit?
He is charging outlandish prices for things people desperately need. Their blood is filling his pockets.
'Tis only survival of the fittest. All of these cretins would do the same in his shoes, given the chance.
I have limited supplies. The people decide what those supplies are worth to them.
You bought most of your wares from these very people last week. Now they flee for their lives, and you want to talk business?
Look, stranger, I've 100 silvers if you drive this rabble off, starting with that priest. I'm an honest merchant, nothing more.
You don't think you're being unscrupulous?
Would it help these folks if they could buy no goods at all?
They spend their very last coin because they are desperate, and this man preys upon them as surely as the bandits outside the city.
Ah, I'm not arguing anymore. Drive off this woman and get your 100 silvers. Otherwise, I'm taking my wagon and leaving.
Lower your prices or lose your goods.
Maker's breath. Sometimes it's truly not worth operating this far south.
Just charge what you would have before this tragedy.
Fine, yes, just stop complaining. You're giving me a headache.
So, we have come to solve every squabble in the village personally. My, but the Darkspawn will be impressed.
Thank you for your generous assistance. May the Maker watch over your path.
Oh yeah, I'm doing good, making everyone mad. Ay, ay, ay. Let's see. Can Alistair wear that? And let's see. No. We'll put that on. Alright.
So let's talk about your mother for a moment.
I'd rather talk about your mother.
Well, there's nothing to talk about. And besides, isn't your mother a scary witch who lives in the middle of the forest? Much more interesting.
I just love their
To you, perhaps,
banter.
you would find the moss growing upon a stone interesting.
Hello, stranger. I don't suppose you know anyone that can make traps?
What do you need traps for?
Old Man Barlin said that Darkspawn may be coming soon. He's got traps on his farm. I figured I'd put a few on my lands. Barlin wants to poison his traps. I just want normal traps.
Barlin has poison traps on his land?
Ah, he doesn't have any poison yet, thank the Maker. So his fields are just full of traps. He can be a bit eccentric.
Why don't you just buy some?
None to be had. Barlin has all the traps in the village in his fields.
I can't help you. Farewell.
I didn't mean to bother you. Sorry.
I have a wonder, Alistair, if you will indulge me.
Do I have a choice?
Of the two of you that remain, are you not the senior Grey Warden here? I find it curious that you allow another to lead while you follow.
You find that curious, do you?
In fact, you defer to a new recruit. Is this the policy of the Grey Wardens, or simply a personal one?
What do you want to hear? That I prefer to follow? I do.
You sound so very defensive.
Couldn't you crawl into a bush somewhere and die? That would be great, thanks.
You got a bed for the night. You taken care of.
Actually, I was more hoping I could help you.
Don't need blades right now. We need beds, food, and an end to all these sad sots. I don't suppose you know anything of tonics, medicines, or herbs.
I don't, but my friend does.
Then you may be able to do us a lot of good. All manner of travellers come through, many injured or sick. We do our best, but we're out of supplies. There's medicinal herbs in the woods to the north. If you make a few poultices, I'll scrape together some sort of payment. I'll write all you need to know in this note here.
Done now. Are you happy?
Not
Have any luck finding herbs in the woods?
I didn't need them. Here you go.
This will help many people. You're a good sort, you know.
How dare you accuse me of thievery? I saw you take the supplies from my car. Your grassland eyes are inept. A chastened would never stoop to petty theft.
I do not see
You marsh folk are all thieves and liars. Enough!
Shockebasity.
Oh, there's Sten.
You aren't one of my captors. I have nothing to say that would amuse a dwarf. Leave me in peace.
Then I will leave you to your fate.
If only I were so lucky.
But what about my food? I said enough.
Did I not ask you to leave me in peace? I'm in a cage, am I not? I've been placed here by the Chantry. I am Sten of the Beresad, the vanguard of the Kunari peoples.
I'll leave you alone then.
Eaten alive by Darkspawn. That's cruel. I wonder why the revered mother's so afraid of him.
In all my playthroughs, I've never really used Sten. I don't know why, I just haven't.
Done. Anything else?
Let's see if this is anything better. Same. Whoops. Nothing yet. Okay. I hear some voices. Let's see what's going on over here.
Away with you, foul creatures!
Leave us alone!
Ah, yeah.
Mighty timely arrival there, my friend. I'm much obliged.
Just how obliged exactly?
You want a reward, eh? I suppose that's an entirely reasonable request. How does 100 silver sound? I was going to use that to fix up the cart, but quite frankly, I'll be grateful enough that my son and I come out of this with our heads.
Oh, she's gonna be mean, but I'll say that sounds just fine.
Good. One good turn deserves another. That's what the missus always claims. The name's Bodon Feddick, merchant and entrepreneur. This here is my son, Sandal. Say hello, my boy.
Hello.
Road's been mighty dangerous these days. Mind if I ask what brings you out here? Perhaps we're going the same way.
King's business, I'm afraid.
Fair enough. Allow me to say thank you again and bid you farewell. Say goodbye, my boy.
Goodbye.
Now then, let's get this mess cleaned up, shall we?
No, I want them to come. What happens if I just leave them? Do they not come? Oh well, that's what this playthrough is about. Okay. Alright. My inventory's full. Can I sell something to you, Bodon?
We'll be off as soon as this mess is cleaned up. Thank you kindly for all your assistance.
Let's head off to the banner.
Bad dreams, huh?
Why are you bothering me? I'm fine.
It's just that you were shouting in your sleep, loud, and not in a good, this is private way either. You see, part of being a Grey Warden is being able to hear the Darkspawn. That's what your dream was, hearing them. The Archdemon, it talks to the Horde, and we feel it just as they do. That's why we know this is really a blight.
The Archdemon, is that the dragon?
I don't know if it's really a dragon, but it sure looks like one. But yes, that's the Archdemon. It takes a bit, but eventually you can block the dreams out. Some of the older Grey Wardens say they can understand the Archdemon a bit, but I sure can't. Anyhow, when I heard you thrashing around, I thought I should tell you. It was scary at first for me, too.
You could have told me earlier.
I know, I've just been so distracted with the, massacre of all my friends and the war and all that. Sorry. Anyhow, you're up now, right? Let's pull up camp and get a move on.
Oh, they are at the camp. Yay! There they are. Hooray! See what Morgan's up to. In her little corner
What
over
do you
here.
wish of me?
I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
Is Plymouth really what she seems to be?
Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
A nutty old bat.
Sometimes I do wonder the very same thing. Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the Chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience.
I'm more interested in the truth.
I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
Alright, but make it quick.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
Yes, I heard this part.
The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the Bard and fled the castle of her husband, the Dreadlord Conobar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conobar the jealous lord who looked on from afar. Lord Conobar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed.
He sold his wife to another man.
The life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement. All would have been well had Lord Conobar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
So she truly loved Osen then?
That was not the point. Conobar had no honor, so she would not have him. Flemeth begged the spirits to aid her, and 'twas they who slew Conobar. The demon the legend tells of came later. Lord Conobar's allies chased Flemeth, you see, chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies.
Which, she never invaded, or he never defeated her?
The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
An interesting story, thank you.
Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious nevertheless.
My mother died a long time ago.
Ah, then you have my sympathies for what it is worth. Which is very little, I am certain. It matters not. Let us move on.
It's good to see you, my timely rescuer. Bodon Feddick, at your service, once again. Now, before you say anything, I do recall that your business is private. But I saw your camp and couldn't help but stop. Is there anywhere safer to sleep? I think not. I'm perfectly willing to offer you a fine discount for the inconvenience of our presence. How does that sound? Good? Yes?
You're free to stay. Just mind yourselves.
Wonderful. Thank the kind lady, won't you, boy?
Thank you, kind lady.
We won't be a bother to you and your companions, I assure you. If you should need enchantments, simply talk to my boy. Otherwise, come speak with me.
Alright, let's get rid of some of my
You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along on the road.
So what's your story exactly?
Well, if you're really interested, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to tell you. I'm originally from Orzammar, just as you are, I suspect. You don't have the look of a surface dwarf about you. I was a merchant there, too. Merchant caste. These things are in the blood, you know. You can't just leave them behind. I ran a fairly successful business. Rare artifacts, you know. Old things, grand things. The nobles loved them. Reminded them of the lost glory days, I suppose.
Our glory isn't lost.
Well, you can think that if you wish, if that gives you comfort, but some of us prefer to look at things as they are and see the truth. But we were talking about how I ended up here, weren't we? One day, a noble woman came to my stall. She looked around for a bit and then started shrieking in dismay. Apparently, she believed that a pair of braces I had for sale once belonged to her brother. He'd been lost in a cave-in, you see, while on an expedition to clear out the Darkspawn from one of the tunnels running close to the city. They were made specially for him. They're unique, she shrieked. He stole them from my poor brother's corpse. She had me arrested on the spot, of course. Nobles, they're touchy like that.
I used to be a noble.
And now you're up here, on the surface.
My brother betrayed me and had me exiled.
Then you know whereof I speak, don't you? Well, I didn't steal them. You see, I'd been paying these castless thugs to venture out into the deep roads for me. The lost tigers. They're full of things that people left behind. Sometimes you can find a treasure. Something worth a little gold.
Better to do something with them than leave them to rot.
That's exactly how I see it. The noblewoman, she wasn't too happy with the theft of her brother's braces. I don't know what they planned for me, and I didn't want to find out. Bribed the guard that was watching me and took off for the surface first opportunity I got. Never looked back.
You're quite lucky to have done so well.
I thank the stone every single day. Now, is there anything the boy or I can get you?
Let me see your
I'm sure you'll be
Odin.
pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Let's see. Alright. I'm going to pause this for a minute and sell all my stuff.